Hello and welcome back to this edition of Bayou Time. Again, your host, Keith Weisheit, licensed clinical social worker. So very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it. And we love to get updates and information from those people who are out there keeping us safe, those people who are out there really, truly making a difference, putting their lives on the line every day. One of those people is Captain Brendan Mathern, Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office. Brendan, thanks for joining us once again.
Thank you, Keith. Good to be here as always.
All right. Appreciate that. Well, Captain, I got to tell you, this is one of the more interesting stories. I think that these things probably happen more often than not, but we've had a unique situation where some people were lured in with Facebook. Tell us a little more about that, if you don't mind.
Sure, and thankfully it doesn't happen here a ton in the Lafourche Parish area, but unfortunately we did have an instance where someone put an advertisement on Facebook Marketplace, had someone respond, and then essentially robbed that person. Obviously, this is a situation where people are coming to a meetup to purchase something, and so that the other party knows they have money on them, and it leads to that potential cause for a robbery. In this case, this incident occurred on July 28th, and at that time, a couple was lured to a trailer in the Thibodeau area. The trailer had been posted for sale in the Thibodeau area in the amount of about $7,500. And when the couple arrived, they invited them into the trailer to see it. And once they reached the bedroom in the trailer, someone jumped out in a ski mask and robbed them at gunpoint, actually brought them back to their SUV to collect more cash. And ultimately, the couple was able to get away in their vehicle and call police. But unfortunately, this is the sort of thing that you kind of taking a chance with, and certainly not to victim blame in this situation. But anytime that you're purchasing items from someone, you always take the chance because you don't know who you're dealing with. In this case, one of the suspects was 20-year-old Darius Walter. He was arrested and charged with 2 counts of armed robbery. We are actually still seeking a second suspect that was part of this scam to lure these individuals there. And if you have any information on this crime, you can contact Crime Stoppers by region at 1-800-743-7433. You can also submit a tip online at crimestoppersbr.org or use the Bayou Tips mobile app, which is how most people are submitting their information now.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where people who are in need, I mean, in fact, I can think of several. I've got several patients of mine, if you will, both in home health and hospice, that both really are needing a little bit more consistent place to stay. And so they kind of require checking into the options for a trailer if it's available, especially one that's posted that they may be able to go and do. And it kind of makes me mad that somebody would take advantage of those in need, especially here, just, 2 years after this hurricane, where we still have people who are still needing more consistent housing.
And, Keith, we can do an entire segment probably on things to look for when it comes to tips to avoid a potential scam on Facebook, whether it's someone trying to get your money through a scam or someone trying to lure you so that they can rob you. Obviously, that violent act of an armed robbery is something that we see very rare of. We see more of the scams where people are posting things for sale. One of the most common things, believe it or not, is pets. Dogs, for example. They'll post a dog for sale and ask that you submit some type of deposit or down payment, and then you never hear from or see that person again. And that's if you're doing business on your own outside of verified marketplaces on the internet, such as sales places like Amazon, eBay, that offer all of those levels of protection. When you're just kind of taking matters into your own hands, it's basically like dealing with a classified ad that you would put in a paper, and you just have to go on trust. And unfortunately, the world we live in, not everybody's trustworthy.
Yeah, it's not. And so some really good points that you bring up about making sure that you kind of protect yourself. If something doesn't quite seem right, it probably isn't. So you really want to trust your gut on those when you're looking for a situation.
Yeah, look, like any other phone scam, that's one of the biggest things. And the easiest way to spot a scam is that if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And I know it's tempting. You see those coupons for 50% off your entire purchase, or you see that someone is selling a dog that normally sells for maybe 1,500 and they have it for 250. Chances are there's something wrong there, or there's something very wrong. And while it sounds like you could be in for a great deal, you could also be setting yourself up for a scam.
Yeah, very often something that sounds too good to be true is truly too good to be true. And there's some falsehoods there that we need to be aware of. And so we appreciate that. I'm glad the couple was able to get away. What happens with them and the money and that kind of situation from a legal standpoint?
Well, ultimately, we were able to recover some of the funds from the suspect that we arrested. We hope that by finding the second suspect, we're hoping to eventually recover more of the money that was lost there. But that's the danger, especially when you're dealing with phone scams and scam artists. Chances are they've already spent it, or in the idea of a phone scam where you've sent money via some type of service, or say Western Union, or you've purchased a card and giving them access. I mean, at that point, the money is really gone. You've essentially forfeited that money over to someone. And that's why we encourage people as well. Look, use a credit card anytime and every time you can. There's lots of fraud protections on your credit card that we'd be able to get your money back or help you get money back in those situations.
Some great recommendations. We appreciate it very, very much. I'm glad y'all were able to go in there, be able to get that first assailant, if you will, and have leads out for the other one. Again, if anybody has more information about this, or if you've heard this, or Captain Brennan, Crime Stoppers, again, 1-800-743-7433, or go to crimestoppersbr.org, or you can do the Bayou Tips app on the mobile devices, and some people could be up for a $1,000 reward if somebody is arrested. So, Captain Brennan, thank you again. We always appreciate your time.
Thank you, Keith. Always a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, guys, that will do it for this particular segment. Don't go anywhere. A lot more Bayou time when we continue.